Boom, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Happy Friday to all of you out there. We are doing another Reddit Friday roundup where we go through some of the hot posts from both the Pokemon investing and Pokemon TCG subreddits, and I give you my take. A nice relaxing stroll through the interwebs on Friday, Pokemon related, of course. So with that, we're going to get into probably the biggest story this week. I've said this before, but this type of hot market brings out the worst in people, or at least these people get more airtime than they normally would. There's always bad and toxic people in the world, but when we're dealing with lots of money involved, especially with items that are, can easily be pickpocketed, we get the worst of people. So this story here on Pokemon TCG, this was all over social media this week. We'll play a little bit of the clip here. Let me turn the volume down a little bit. I don't know if the audio is coming through for you. So this guy got caught. Obviously, everyone's innocent until proven guilty, of course. But yeah, this guy got caught, and so we won't play the whole thing. We don't want to get demonetized, but yeah, again, just it brings out, this type of market brings out the worst in people. Don't let it get you down. This isn't everyone. Just this jerk happened to get caught on video. Next story here. Today is a sad day. This guy's collection here, I think it was eaten. He's got a mix of Magic and Pokemon cards there. I think it was eaten or chewed up by rats. And this is just goes to show you got to take care of the collection. This guy's got it stored in what looks like an unfinished attic, basement, shed, something like that. You have to take care of this stuff. Animals are going to get at it. Water's going to get at it. Humidity, fire, theft, all those things that people don't think about when we're talking about collecting physical items, and lots of them, especially like we just saw. This stuff is extremely hot. People want this. People want to steal it. It can be, flipped easily on Facebook Marketplace. You have to take care of the stuff. You have to think of that. This is not like other assets where you can just buy them, and it's even crypto, right? It just sits online. It's quite safe. You don't have to worry about physically protecting it. Well, with Pokemon cards, we do. So you got to take care of this stuff. You have to think through where you're going to store your collection, how you're going to store your collection. It has to be safe, and you can only go so far to mitigate that risk. You can't eliminate that completely. This is why, and the theft part of it here, let's talk about it a little bit more for a second. This is why I do not show off my collection. I try to keep location private. When you're showing off your stuff online to other people, that's not good operational security. You're saying here, you wouldn't open up a safe full of gold and say, hey, look at me, here I am, right? You got to protect that stuff. If people know, if the information gets out online that you got tens of thousands of dollars worth of stuff sitting in your house, stop and think about that for a second. Is that good operational security? I know it's a brag, all that, but you got to think bigger picture here. And here we are with the opposite issue here. This is someone who is taking their collection seriously. They're thinking long term. They're thinking about, how do I store this stuff in an appropriate manner? This is great. So this person's asking, what are the pros and cons of storing in a plastic bin like this? And for me, I don't see any cons. I think this is great. You just got to remember, this isn't mitigating all the risk, but this is a very low-hanging fruit, easy method, cheap method to be able to store your product. They even got a silica pack in there. They're going to need more than that one. But that's a great idea too. And then you really don't have to think about it all that much. You really don't have to, you don't have to worry about, at least you shouldn't have to worry about rats getting into it. Some of these bins you can buy have rubber seals on them. I spend a few more bucks and get something with a rubber seal, and you don't have to worry so much about moisture. Throw some silica packets in there, and this is great. And again, you're only mitigating some of that risk. So this is going to be great if a sprinkler system comes off, or this is going to be great if you're storing in a basement where, an appliance above could leak. Yeah, that's an issue. That's a potential issue that people don't think about, is not just like catastrophic things, but small things. I had a leak next to my Pokemon collection, and that gave me, and luckily I completely voided any actually, that's not true. I lost one box. Got extremely lucky, and that to me was like an oh crap moment, where I put in some water sensors. I spent a little bit of money. I'm like, hey, I'm storing a hefty amount of money here. Let's spend a little bit of money to protect that investment, just like you would any other investment. You'd safeguard, make sure everything's password protected online and all that. You got to do similar things for the physical assets that you have. All right, next post from Pokemon TCG. This is a Victini card that was won in Japan. I don't know how we're getting this or if we're getting this in English. Let me know in the comment section below if this is a promo, if we're getting this in the set in Black Bolt White Flare. This is a promo for Black Bolt White Flare in Japan. Beautiful in terms of monochromatic cards. This is absolutely beautiful. So I truly want one of these. I hope we get it in English in some way, shape, or form. I got to dig a little deeper and see if we are getting it. But this is to me is almost a must-have. Very, very hyped for the monochromatic Victini, there's Shiram and Zekrom from Black Belt White Flare. And next post from Pokemon TCG, went to a random gas station and they got a bunch of Pokemon cards. Let's see what they got. Bunch of Obsidian Flames. You know my feelings on that. Pulled a Charizard. So yeah, I've been hitting pretty good at gas stations. Actually, the most packs I've opened recently have just been random pickups at a gas station. Destined rivals a few of my gas stations close by. We're selling a little bit elevated in price, about $6 a pack, but it's been fun to be able to at least get a few packs to open with the kids, right? And I'm not worried about investing or anything like that. That's just for opening and having fun. So it's crazy, all these places are like, hey, you can make some money with Pokemon packs. They're actually moving now at gas stations for those prices. So it makes sense for them to get a booster box and let people buy them at the cash register. Let's see. Next one. These are going above $200 raw soon. This is a tag team, Moltres and Zapdos and Arcuno. Very cool piece of artwork. This is the kind of stuff I like that's just out there. It's different. This to me is very much a collector's item, and people were commenting on it. How, these were under $30, under $15 not too long ago. So I do not spec on singles. I tell people there's very few black and white things in the world. I tell all the people I work with in my investing group, the people I do consulting with, I do not mess around with singles. Some people do, and some people are extremely successful with it, and kudos to them. Same thing with graded plays. That's a whole nother department. You notice I don't talk about graded cards all that much. I have graded cards, but I don't feel like I know enough to really talk about it all that much. It's a whole nother piece of the pie. I know sealed. I will say this out in the public. I know Pokemon Sealed better than the vast majority of people out there. It's what I study. It's what I look at. I have the data. I can keep my pulse on things. That's not the case with singles, especially graded. But this is a beautiful card, and that I can tell you, I do like this artwork. And that's the other thing with cards. You're dealing with a lot more subjectivity. It's much harder to see the market, keep your pulse on the market for something that is just exclusively subjective. All right, let's go. Next one, Poke Investing. How do you guys afford to get so much stuff? So this person looks like they have a small drawer with a bunch of stuff in it that they're kind of scrolling away, kind of starting their collection. And there's some other pictures here with just a few items. I've said this before in the beginning of the video, the brag about how much product you have, don't always look at that as a brag. Number one, that person shouldn't be showing you that much product. That's an operational security thing. And number two, remember the liquidity trap. The amount of product that someone has, if they got shelf after shelf of sealed booster cases, that's fantastic. Kudos to them for having the money. They have to liquidate that at some point. And I can guarantee you could have the same booster box. You could have one of that booster box versus them having 30, 50, 100 booster boxes, right? Who's going to have an easier time liquidating their product in 5 years? The person who has less product, right? How much from a percentage gain standpoint is one going to win over the other? None. It's the same. The dollar amount increase is going to be different, of course, right? But the percentage is the same over a period of time, right? So there's actually some advantages to being on the small time scale. Always, it's the process and the journey that you're on by taking control of your finances, taking control of your future, and saying, I'm going to invest in stocks, I'm going to invest in Pokemon just for fun, right? But maybe make some money in the long term. That is the goal. It's not the end goal of I want to have millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's the process of improving yourself. And in terms of putting money into printed cardboard for an investment, it should be a small amount of your net worth. That's the other thing. These people that show you shelf after shelf after shelf of sealed booster cases, I can guarantee you, okay, I use that word way too much. I'm promising you they're using way too much of what should be normal investing capital into Pokemon, okay? That's not safe. That's not braggable. That's stupid. That's stupidity, okay? what this person's doing on the screen, this is what I like to see, because they're using what little money they have. I shouldn't say little, what money they have, right? They're being cautious about it. It's not about the volume, it's about the process of doing it. So kudos to this person for doing something and taking their future and just having fun and collecting and just, again, storing it away and inquiring with other people. Is this what I should be doing? No one should look down upon this. This is good. It's a good start. We're going to skip that one. 1 month into collecting this picture on Poke. What are we on? Yeah, Poke Investing subreddit here. I love this. This is fantastic. This is beautiful. Great display piece. I would love to do something like this. I am so constrained. I don't want to have like a man cave to display stuff like this, and the wife's never going to let me display sealed products throughout the house like this. I would love to, and so I am so constrained on space that the visual display is hard to do. But this is awesome. I love it. And I am a true firm believer that as much as people invest or collect into singles and display them and love the artwork, the same can be true for sealed boxes. I absolutely love displaying or would love to display some ETBs. I'm thinking of rearranging some stuff down here and doing some shelves behind me and just to have a better background. But just I want to display some of the stuff and rotate it out and put some different ETBs up there at different times. But ETBs for me are really, I think, again, especially with a lot of bundles, the focus being on bundles these days in terms of the number of products hitting the market and the number of packs hitting the market. I think ETBs are kind of separating from that. They're becoming something that is more of a display piece, more of a collectible. It's not this disposable way to get packs like we saw it still is, but long term, I don't think that's going to be the case, even for Scarlet and Violet, where, especially for Scarlet and Violet, we see so few ETBs printed compared to bundles for a lot of the late SV era stuff. So, but this is just beautiful. Like this, I'm envious of this. I love the LED lights in there. So I think that was a really cool post. Next one from Poke Investing. Should I even bother holding? This is the Journey Together Pokemon Center ETBs. Yes, absolutely hold. Do not sell them. Journey Together, for all, I shouldn't say fault. It's a fine set. It's fine. It's like a Stellar Crown for me. People love it. This is a good looking box. It's got a very decent promo. I think it's Zorora is the promo. I think it's a pretty cute promo as far as artwork is concerned. We know what's going to happen with Pokemon Center ETBs. I do think late Scarlet and Violet PC ETBs are pretty heavily printed. We just got another drop this week of Prismatic Evolutions Pokemon Center ETBs. I think that's the third drop, I believe. So that's, are we going to see more Journey Together Pokemon Center ETBs? Was it a bigger drop, a bigger run, as the demand signal from the market was, hey, we want more of these? Just something to consider, but absolutely. If you paid a high dollar premium, if you chased it, maybe not. Maybe I shouldn't say that. They will do well long term. But yeah, I would hold on. I would absolutely hold on to these, especially if your dollar cost is the MSRP, the $60 from Pokemon Center. Absolutely hold. All right, next one. Does anyone think this will be an expensive Charizard in the future? And this is the Charizard from Obsidian Flames. Maybe. Yeah, I think it's a good looking card. It's not the best Charizard in Scarlet and Violet. I think that goes to the similar looking card from Paldean Fates, which carries more of a premium, mainly because the pull rates on Paldean Fates are worse, and Obsidian Flames is just easier to pull this card, which means more population out there. I think the Charizard with the hat, I don't know what was it terrestrial Pokemon? I don't know why they have them. That's me just not knowing the lore, but it's not. I think the cracked, stained crystal glass look is phenomenal. I think the hat, whatever you want to call it, just puts people off a little bit. But yeah, I think this is going to do fine long term. It's just a huge population of this card. Obsidian Flames pull rates are really, really good, which is not great for card values. That's just how it works, right? But then again, you just think about when you're collecting singles, it's about the artwork. That's how I do it. Yeah, I like to have value in my cards, but I'm not trying to buy low and sell high. 2 years ago today is what the name of this post is from Poke Investing, and this is showing a full shelf of product. Everything on here just about everything on here is fairly expensive now. You see Crown Zenith here. You're seeing Scarlet and Violet base ETBs, Paldea Evolved ETBs. You're seeing loose packs. I don't know exactly what that is. You got Paldea Evolved booster bundles. All of that stuff is pretty expensive at this point. And this just goes to show that why wasn't this product wanted at that time? And I'm going to do a video on this soon. What changed from then to now, right? I think The problem, number one was supply. At that period of time, there's just a lot of supply in the market. Everyone was very much focused on Sword and Shield still at that time. And, again, I'm not going to lie. There's a ton of speculators, investors in the market now that were not in the market 8 months to a year ago. So that's just the difference in the type of market that we're in recently. So Crown Zenith, anything here at these prices would be absolute pickups today. And this is why you should, when most of you here, you're buying product at a premium right now. If you're chasing anything in the market at secondary market value right now, you're chasing it. This is why the money that is made, the real wealth, right? The difference, we talked about this before, the difference between making money and making wealth, right? Making wealth is when you're buying product, whether that's assets, it could be collectibles, it could be stocks that are depreciated through no fault of their own. So Crown Zenith is a great set. I think objectively, it's a great set. Why not pick it up at $50 a box? I was, because I knew it's like, I like it. Maybe the market will like it someday. Guess what? Market likes it now. So that's when the money's made. Not buying Destined Rivals booster boxes at $200 a pop now. You missed the boat. All right, so let's look here. We're going to skip that one. Oh, this one, just a quick one. Trading, Evolving Skies. Just, oh, man, beautiful looking boxes. Again, ETBs. Those Pokemon Center ETBs, I love what they did in Sword and Shield. See, this is what I'm talking about, the separation of box artwork from the Pokemon Center ETBs to the regular ETBs. They're lazy these days. They're using the same artwork and just changing the text. This is what I like to see. It creates that, and I actually think this is going to increase the box value for Pokemon Center ETBs long term, because you got that different artwork. So it's not just the same. Again, think about it from this way. Do you want a collectible that is the same box art but says Pokemon Center and has a stamp promo? Stamp promo helps. If the stamp promo wasn't a factor, would you want the one that has different artwork, maybe better artwork? Yeah, of course you would, right? It's collectible. Artwork matters. Box artwork matters, especially if you're going to keep it sealed. So Evolving Skies PC ETBs, absolutely beautiful. I do not have either. I wish I had them. I have some regular ETBs that are coveted. I absolutely love them. But I wish I had the PC ETBs. I should have grabbed some. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. PC 151 ETB about to go up fast. It already has gone up fast. If you really think about it, it's the most expensive Pokemon Center ETB out of Scarlet and Violet era. Quite a bit fewer sealed population. If you go to TCG Player, I didn't pull it up on the screen, but TCG Player sealed population is quite low. No reprint risk for those, I would say, at this point. It's 151. Everything 151 is going to do well long term. So yeah. And next one, would you do this trade? It looks like 4 booster bundles of 151 for 1 Paldea Evolved booster box. Abso-freaking-lutely. There's no question about that. Paldea Evolved is older. I'm sorry, it's not older. It's old comparatively to most of Scarlet and Violet. It's got some age on it, which is a good thing. 151 booster bundles. As much as you like them, as much as you like 151, as much as you like 151 bundles, there's a crap load of these out there. A crap load. And we're still seeing 151 be printed. Costco's getting a 151 bundle. There's rumors that Costco's getting 151 ETBs. I would be shocked to see that, because we have not seen 151 ETBs in a long time, which is why they're over $200 a pop now. So again, if anyone is questioning and saying, oh, early Scarlet and Violet, they're not going to go back and reprint it. If you're looking to listen to any PokeTubers like, yeah, early Scarlet and Violet's safe, that's baloney. Absolutely baloney. This is the measure of the resolve of the Pokemon Company to go back and print product. That's not a bad thing. If you are intelligent, if you know what you're doing, and you're not a Timmy, you know this is opportunity. This is good. This is a product. It just checks every single box. It's nostalgia. It's already gone up in price. The market's already voted on it. And if you can get more of that product at a cheaper price, you back the truck up. There's no predicting what's going to happen in the future. It's 151. The only question is how long you're going to be able to hold on to it for. So this is an absolute slam dunk of a trade. 151 bundles. If you're using a service like Sleeved, link in the description. I know I beat the dead horse on Sleeved. It's a Discord service, but that in-stock notification alert, that's how you get product MSRP. Not camping out at a GameStop on Friday. Not stalking your targets. Not wasting your Saturday driving around from Target to Walmart to Target to Walmart trying to find product. That's the Timmy move. Sign up for service like Sleeved. And that way the notifications come to you, the product comes to you. You just got to be quick. It's not a guarantee, but neither is stalking Targets and GameStop on a Saturday morning and wasting your time. So yeah, this is a fantastic trade. Just be cautious on the 151 bundles. There's a crap load of them. There's a crap load of 151 out there. Yes, the demand for it is high, but there's also a lot of artificial demand for 151 and all Scarlet and Violet product because the price is up. It's that self-fulfilling prophecy of, oh, it's good because it's scarce. It's good because the market says it's good, right? It's objectively a great product. And I think my vote is, yeah, continue to buy 151, but only at MSRP, because there's tens, possibly hundreds of thousands of bundles sitting in people's closets, in speculators' closets, in flippers' closets, in investors' closets, waiting for it to go up in value. If that doesn't happen, if we have some kind of event where the Pokemon market starts to fail and prices start to erode, all of that product is going to hit the market at once. What's going to happen next? Okay. So that's why we buy value. We buy cheap. That way we have a buffer. All right, on to the next tier. Let's see. What kind of boom are we in right now? Let's talk about that. I didn't go through the comments here. The kind of boom that we're in right now is, I think, twofold. There's a lot of speculators. Yes, I'm an investor. Okay. I'm talking, it's okay if you're an investor, but just, you don't kid yourself and think, well, it's all natural demand. It's not all natural demand. Again, this is the new hotness because I can make money buying cards. I can hold on to my cards long term and make money. Yeah, that's absolutely true. It's what I do. It's what my channel's about, and that's what we want. I have fun doing. But again, I would argue most people are not going to be here in a few years. Most people are not going to be here. I mean, the sealed market could drop 10%, which is not even a crash. I would call that a probably healthy correction. And I would go down a limb and say most people would be out. Like, they would just dump. They'd be like, oh, this isn't working. Let me get out. And why is that the case? Because that's what happens to most retail investors in the stock market. This is a game of psychology. As much as you think about it as a game of math or a game of process, it's a game of human psychology. And every front, from the price of the box to the price of to why people buy, to why people hold, to why people sell, it's all human psychology. If it were just math, we could make a formula, we could make a function, make an algorithm and predict it. It's not. One of my favorite quotes from, I think it's Isaac Newton, is, I can predict the movement of heavenly bodies, but not the madness of men. That's what we're doing. We are in the madness of men. We cannot predict this stuff. So there's a lot of, to get back to the question, there's a lot of speculators in this market, and there was during COVID times as well. There is a lot of natural demand for Pokemon though. Don't get me wrong, but the issue is how much of the product is getting opened and ripped versus how much is just sitting on shelves waiting to be invested to. And remember, we have to have buyers for this stuff on the other end of it. If there aren't enough buyers and there's an influx of product to the secondary market because people are dumping it, what happens to the price, right? That's basic supply and demand at that point. So I would argue there's a lot of stuff, including my own shelves, that things are sitting, waiting for an opportunity to sell. I need a buyer at some point in time in the future. And what's happening now in Scarlet and Violet, especially the back half, you could obviously make the argument that the back half of Scarlet and Violet was way more heavily printed and will be more heavily printed for years to come versus early Scarlet and Violet or even Sword and Shield, because of the demand from the market, the demand signal. The job of the Pokemon Company is to produce as much as possible to, number one, make profit, and two, get in the product in the hands of the collectors for the health of their intellectual property. So the first comment on this video mentions something about some correlation between Pokemon card investors and sport card investors, and there is some overlap there. I don't think that's enough of what's driving the market right now to call it a boom. I don't think that's where we're at right now. And again, I think it's a lot of speculators, investors, but the health of the IP of Pokemon and the demand for it is extremely, extremely healthy. It's just, if you were to make a pie chart of where that demand is, collectors, speculators, investors, flippers, what have you, I think the speculator and investor side of things, that piece of the pie would be a lot bigger than people realize. And that's okay. And again, if you get the diamond hands that are soaking up product, that capacitor, that sponge is still pulling out of the market, and it's not going to dump into the market right away if anything goes sideways. That's the stuff that's going to hurt us in the long run. The people who are diamond hands, the Rudies of the world, all those people, myself, I've held on the product for 5+ years. No issue. I liquidate here and there, of course, but that's still a good drain that on the secondary market of supply. And then let's end on a fun one here. This is from Poke Investing. This is the Gengar Pikachu Chinese exclusive. I friggin' love this card. I love Pikachu. I love Gengar. This is an awesome card. Like, why do I not get this in English? Why? Why would you just give it to Chinese, right? Hey, they got to have their own product. That's fantastic. But looking at this promo too, at this card, it's going for $850 right now, and this comes from the 151C Hope set. So it's like a separate 151 set for the Chinese market. Beautiful card. And I was looking at the set because I wasn't familiar with it. Again, I mainly focus on the English side of things. I don't even focus on Japanese all that much. This is the 151 Hope Standard Slim Booster Box, 15 packs, I believe. Oh man, what a good looking box, man. Imagine a box like this, or even card art like this, hitting the English market. People would go nuts. Look at one of those cards. You got Pikachu and Psyduck and a sleeping Psyduck. Oh man, would I love to have this card. My kids would go nuts for it. Even my wife would love a card like this. So I implore you, Pokemon Company, bring this card, bring this set, or most of the cards from the set I think are similar to the English side of things. A lot of like the baby shinies that we saw in Paldean Fates. Just a beautiful looking card. So yeah, this was that very, very cool looking card. Wish I could get my hands on one. I was like, yeah, let me go see it. Maybe it's $100, $150 and I'll snag one. $850. It's a little out of my price range. If I'm going to spend that, I'm going to go to get the Fusion Strike Gengar VMAX there, which is my current white whale, so to speak. So that brings us to the end of our Reddit Friday here. I hope this is fun. I love this. I just I click save every time I see something pop up in Reddit for the week, and I think it's cool. It creates some content to spurs some content. Sometimes the jam between my ears runs dry of things to talk about or to spark a video idea on. So I hope you have an awesome weekend. Make sure you enjoy the hobby. Make sure you're ripping some packs, having fun. Get that singles binder in order. And I know that's what we're going to be doing this weekend, organizing some of our binders here at my house. So with that, we'll see you on the next one. PokeMarketLab out.